All right. So I haven't made a video on the Eternals yet, and kind of the reason is I like the Eternals. I like the comic book specifically. I like Neil Gaiman's take on it, which I think is what this movie's going to be sort of based around. But I'm afraid it's going to be a horrible mess. Maybe I'm afraid of that because I like the comic book series. So the part that I don't think they'll actually do in the movie, the Eternals come together and form. I think it's called a world mind or something like this. Which is kind of like Captain Planet. So by your powers combined, and they're able to beat everybody down. I don't think they can easily portray that on a movie. I don't know. I saw the Don Cheadle take on Captain Planet. Maybe it's possible. Don Cheadle comes out. By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet. Who knows? But what I'm afraid of is that it's going to be a kind of a mess with sort of along the lines of the Star Wars, how it kind of, the last three were kind of not good, and they were more interested in I don't know what you would call it, social justice, I guess. And I'm not opposed to that. In fact, so with Marvel, the difference between Marvel and DC, in my opinion, is DC makes gods, Superman, who want to be human, and Marvel, and they're striving to be human. Superman is always striving to be a human being, interacting with Lois Lane and being a better human. And same thing. You look at the Green Lantern and his ability later on with Parallax and all that to basically rebuild a whole city, and then all kinds of other stuff, and it's just too much power for one person, and I guess absolute power corrupts absolutely. Marvel's the opposite. Marvel has humans who are striving to be better, who are striving to be gods, and they're still having trouble, always having trouble, and it's worth the strife. And that's, as humans, that's the deal. I'm going to mess up, and I could be wrong with this. I hope. But that strife, that the journey is worth the effort, and we believe that. The X-Men is a direct relation to racism, and the second group of X-Men make it just apparent, where they grab somebody who's from Germany, who is a demon, who is mistreated by his church. And they grab somebody who's Russian, and at the time in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, Russia was a bad guy. They grab somebody from Canada. Canada, they're not bad guys. They're just polite. They're too polite. And then they have Wolverine, who is the opposite of polite. They go ahead and grab, and myself, I'm Cherokee, and they grab an Apache, and they killed him off pretty quick. I do want to make a complaint. This is the new, I guess, Native American month or something. Bring back, I don't know, have they? So I'm gonna have to catch up on that. I don't know if they brought back Warpath, and it's interesting. And Thunderbird, I meant, not Warpath. So all that stuff. They had somebody from Kenya, somebody from Africa, with Storm, and unlike the others, she is actually treated as a goddess. So it's kind of interesting. So I feel like that's definitely a push towards that. What I think the Eternals do, and they should do anyways, is create the mutants. That's what I'm hoping for. I think this movie is going to be tough. I think it's going to be a bunch of social stuff. I think the problem with the Eternals is they're Superman. They are gods, or darn close to it. So in Marvel, there's like a hierarchy of gods. The Eternals are close to the same level as the Asgardians, if not the exact same level. They all have pretty close to the same powers, although some of them have better at it. So, Sprite is faster than all the others, but all of them are faster than humans. And Gilgamesh is stronger, he's a tank, but all of them are tanks, he's just a bigger tank. And stuff like that. They all fly. I don't know if the movie's going to do that. It may be that the movie pares it back a little bit. But what I'm afraid of is, I'm afraid they're going to try to ram that into into us about, that hey, this is a separation of the groups, and this person's from India. We've not seen a superhero from India, or I don't know. We've had some female superheroes, but there's a bunch on this. I don't know. I think Ajax will be killed off pretty quick, but also the Eternals have ways to come back, and so I don't know. I guess it's a comic book. Every comic book has ways to come back. You can make fun of how many times Jean Grey has died, or that kind of thing. So I guess any comic book, and also so the Inhumans were ultimately created by a form of the Eternals, although on kind of mashing together two sets of planets. The Eternals and the Deviants, later on it's discovered that they're actually the same beings. It's just one has a different power set, and they're disfigured or whatever. And so Thanos is a deviant. So it's not like we haven't seen Eternals in the past. We've seen Celestials. And, with that, we've seen, like, Ego, the living planet, was kind of retconned to be a Celestial. We saw Nowhere. Nowhere is in the skull of a dead Celestial. And so I totally expect we'll see that. What I'm hoping is the planet, basically it's almost before it occurred, what's the name of that planet? The Hitchhiker's Guide, the comic books of the Hitchhiker's Guide, where they wanted to know the answer to everything, and it was I forget some number, and so the computer, they built this ginormous computer, and the computer built Earth in order to compute, and all the people on it somehow to compute the answer to what the heck does that number mean. And this is kind of what the Celestials do. They go and they seed a planet, and somehow the life force of everybody, it's a little bit convoluted, but it creates a new Celestial, and that's how Celestials are born or something. And so at one point the concept for the Eternals is to foster that planet so that it will make the perfect environment they're basically making an incubation chamber for a Celestial. So I don't know.